Something has shifted, and on this channel, we embrace the holistic, bigger truth of life. So we don't separate business from spiritual matters. In fact, Tony Robbins himself said business is spiritual. So today, we're going to talk about agility. In the last episode, we talked about momentum, but today we're going to talk about agility. So here's agility in my own terms. When you have agility, you can feel it in your body. In the last episode, I talked about momentum and how to harness momentum. But today I want to talk about agility. Physically, agility is the ability to adapt and move quickly. Mentally, agility is the ability to think and understand and adapt quickly. Agility is the evidence that you're harnessing momentum masterfully. If you know that season, you've been through that season of endurance where you are just showing up over and over, no reward. It is grueling. And then you broke free from that and you felt that shift of momentum come, that wind in itself would have been so relieving and so refreshing. So if you found yourself in the moment where you're like, I do feel like I'm facing challenges and it's not throwing me, I'm having to adapt, then you have earned your stripes. You have earned your badges. It's not an easy thing to do. Psychologically, people who can adapt emotionally are the healthiest, most reflexive people. So we want that. We want agility and the ability to adapt and respond to change in our family life, in our relationships, and we want that in our organizations. Jim Highsmith says, agility is the ability to adapt and respond to change. Agile organizations view change as opportunity, not threat. And I want to pause on that, because I think one of the things that made the past season feel so compounded is that it carried the aftermath of cycles and cycles and cycles that had built up and needed to be cleared. How many of you guys know that overcoming woundings and crises and family issues, business issues, there is an emotional muscle memory, if you will, in overcoming it, and that feels heavy after a while. But that's one of the things that's shifted, okay? It's been cleared, and what you used to view as overwhelming or fearful no longer presents as a threat. Okay, there's less of a fear of failure there. This is when everything feels like opportunity, and you get to choose if you want to take it or not. Jeff Bezos says, what's dangerous is not to evolve. So I got a picture of, when you're little and you're standing in the wind and you feel this gust at your back and you don't weigh more than 10 pounds. So it really picks you up and lifts you. All right. That little giggle that comes out, it's like, whew, to me, that was momentum. But the ability to not be frightened by it and just let it roll, right? That's a joyful thing. And that's getting into agility. That's the bridge to agility. So what I felt was that there was a break in the resistance of oppositional forces that had formed us in the past season, had asked us to persevere and to stretch us in that endurance. And although we will find all of those principles in the new cycles, it feels like the wheels have been greased a little bit. It's a phrase I keep using at my house. So the momentum created is relieving some of the past hardship, whereas before, the endurance required us to put our faith to the test, and it felt like we were in a battle of faith or fear, right? Agility is a breaking point of growth through that. It's a breakthrough. This new momentum has brought a tonic of hope, and it's a strange feeling to hope sometimes, isn't it, when you've just been enduring? You actually just become uncomfortable hoping. You're just like, let me just keep showing up. There's almost a survival instinct that's kicked in, right? It's been so long since I personally felt hope, and I'm just being honest. It was like, just keep it grounded, keep going, keep grinding, right? When that feeling came across me, I thought, that isn't good, is it? That I don't even remember what hope feels like? I mean, it can make me emotional to think about it, but I actually went and looked up the definition of hope. Okay, I'm going to give you that. This is where the reality of identity, purpose, and mission is evidenced. It was never about an external outcome. It was about your own connection to God, learning that you are always being thought of. Now, this is the truth on the deepest, deepest level. All right. And I've been peeking more into the business world recently because my own studies are heading in that direction. And I'm fascinated by how philosophical leadership actually gets at the top levels. Okay. Now, you can't bypass all of that. You've got to earn your badges. You've got to do all of the hard work and the grunt work, and there's discipline and all of that involved. But at some point, I find it's interesting that the end stop of money and finances and business is truly how you're doing spiritually. How have you prioritized your life? Have you done it in the right way? Have you done it in the wrong way? Most of us will have a combination of both. But I would rather, if it's okay if I say this, I would rather make each decision midlife from a holistic place so that I can avoid any more bad investments, so that I can avoid giving my energy and my time to things that do not align. And this is just my personal universal truth. But if you do not have a connection to above with your Creator, with your Heavenly Father, in my opinion, then you are never going to be fully enjoying your life or able to enjoy. It's not physiologically possible, I don't think, at this point. And I'm not going to go into it all, but that's just you can go watch the Rebloom series if you want to know how I arrived at any of those conclusions. But I would say that the reason why I think the deepest awakening is that the Creator is is happy to be thought of as a father is because identity is at the root system of everything you ever do, everything you ever become, your choices, your legacy. It will all come out of the identity that you believe you have. And you can either believe you are a slave in this life, or you can believe you are a son or a daughter. And if you believe you are a son or a daughter, you will walk in your sovereignty. If you don't, slaves don't inherit. They are not heirs, okay? They don't argue. They don't have their own thoughts. They don't push against life. They don't forge. They don't pioneer. They don't form. They don't create or build. They just serve. So service is a part of being in your sovereignty, but it is not the identity of your sovereignty. All right. Being connected spiritually to God is to know that you're always being thought of. You're always being strengthened and grown. Regardless of what happened, the story that came through with your earthly father, your divine father never leaves you, never forsakes you, is always for you, always stretching you, promoting you, providing for you. Every bit of grace that you need to become who you are supposed to be. All right. He sees you more than you see you. And having that confidence behind you helps you to feel supported in this time of making a lot of new choices and aligning yourself. So if we're going into this conversation of agility, we want to think about it from the framework of there is a solid structure that has been set around us. Again, I'm going to go slightly deeper into that. It is really important whether you're running a business, running a family, going to school, it doesn't matter what you're hoping for. It's very important in leadership to have a rested sense, a bigger sense that God wants you to be happy. If you believe that yourself, then you will translate that in your own root system to the people around you. That benevolence is our motivation. It's our momentum. Okay, God wants the people around you to be happy and to be blessed. And yes, He wants us happy too, but more than happy, He wants us walking in our truth and being happy. So the great clearing of decks has come. All the fluff, confusion, fog, it's been cleared. And the steps that you're choosing to take now, they are lighter, freer, easier, and you realize that you have less fear of failure, less control issues, less control of certain outcomes. You've learned to be grateful for your sovereignty, for your free will in a new way, and there's a higher sense of value instilled for you for other people as well. It's like the magnetic function in the compass has been reset, so you can feel the pull towards your destiny again. I also believe you'll feel that in your conversations as you go throughout your day with other people. They won't be less meaningful, but they'll feel a little bit lighter, more agile. There's a heaviness that's gone and lifted. Okay, the blessing of agility has come, and this is the most powerful upgrade that you or I could move in. This new version of you is not weighed down. Your body will be so grateful. Your spirit will praise. It's your mind that will be the thing that has to catch up, not for lack of willingness, but because we have developed some pretty bad habits of thinking from the past season of 25. We've overcome some bad thinking, but we still have to partner with retraining those neural pathways. If hope is feeling unfamiliar, then you know that your thinking is going to need the effort still. All right, the choice of effort. It's almost like if you can imagine, if you're playing a video game and you get to, you've mastered the last level, but you get to that next level and you have to start over and you get killed like straight away. It's like just resting in the humility that, oh yeah, this is like a whole new level. It's a whole new level. It's a whole new season. A little embarrassing, but yep, we get up and we just keep going. Okay. This is a beautiful thing, and we need to take it lightheartedly and fun. And we need to celebrate that the old fears and negativity are starting to be what feels unnatural. As a mama bear, I'm going to say to you, walk forward in your new upgrade. You've earned it. Okay. You can do this. Notice your agility. Notice your freedom, right? Your ability to adapt without being traumatized, okay? Notice how much less you're using words like PTSD. You are uncomfortable with associating with what pulls you back. I don't even want to say the word because I'm so exhausted of that word. I'm not that person. It doesn't have that power over me anymore. I'm not happy to just identify with all of these labels and these former identities. I am more than this. Okay, that's the mark of this season that's upon us. Notice your freedom. And I had this really fun picture that I'm going to leave you with, okay? As I was having this whole download and writing this episode, I was thinking about how if hope were something that was being cooked in the kitchen, that that smell of home, it's like maybe it's for you, it's something savory like lasagna or a cottage pie, or maybe it's more a baked item. You smell the cake and the chocolate cake or the carrot cake. Yum, I'm getting hungry. That's what hope is like in this season. It's like a smell on the wind that wants to pull you in to its kitchen. Does that make sense? It wants you to remember home. It wants you to remember who you are. It wants you to come back to yourself, but in a childlike way, in a free way, and in a joyful way. To say, I do have support. I am going to be okay. I am actually choosing the things that are going to create legacy in my life that is eternal and it's solid and it's strong. And no, we don't have to get there tomorrow. We are going to but what we have earned is this resilience from the endurance that we have had to force ourselves to partner with. We have earned the muscle memory. We've got our spiritual strength, and we're going to build like absolute bosses in the next season. Now we're unstoppable. All right. The kind of classic definition of hope was that it was a feeling of desire or expectation for a particular thing to happen. And I looked down a bit, and the archaic definition always is going to catch my eye because, I'm an ancient world girl. But the archaic definition was trust. Trust. Think about that for a second. Hope is trust. I like that even more. That is profound. And I thought, well, that's a better definition because we all know, you guys, if you've lived longer than 25 years, 30 years, you know that we all have been on these cycles of hope and expectation and disappointment and, right, disillusionment with life, because we will put our hope in things. When we put our hope in a thing, in an outcome, we get on the hamster wheel of disappointment. And it's such a hard lesson to learn, how to get yourself from putting your hope in things to putting your hope where? In yourself. Now, I don't mean that in an individualistic ego way. Our hope in self includes that our hope is in our Creator. Let me say it like in simpler family terms. Let me say it in family terms. If my father has raised me well, then he has raised me with a security to know that I don't have to be afraid to fail because he's always got my back. I don't have to be afraid to try something or to see where it leads, because the resources of heaven are infinite, right? So there is a security in sonship that includes my ability to just get out there and run hard and play. If I'm operating out of disconnection with that relationship, I am feeling like it's all on me. It's all on me. So I really hope this other thing brings me the security. I really hope this other thing brings me peace. And we don't know it, but you guys know we do it. We think something else is going to bring us that feeling of security that is meant to be stable and secure within our relationship with our Father in heaven, with our Creator. So this has been the big paradigm shift for me with hope. My hope is a rested, joyful trust that however the outcome turns out, it's who I'm walking with. It's how I'm walking in security and rest and peace. If my father has done a good job raising me, then I am secure enough, and I have learned to trust my intuition. I have learned to trust that if I say I'll do something, I'll do it. I have learned to trust that I can accomplish goals. I can set myself a task and finish it. There is a level of maturity in our sovereignty that can only be actualized within the father and child relationship. Okay? That's the way I see it. And so hope as trust is reframed. To smell hope on the wind, cooking in the kitchen. That's a beautiful thing. That's really like finishing the cycle out next level, with a well done, knowing that you are affirmed and approved and safe, and that if you can smell the cooking in the kitchen, you have been invited to come back home. Like, all right, you've been out, you've done your work, it's been hard, I know. Come home, come get that renewal and that refreshment. I'm cooking you your favorite meal. You're going to sit and eat with me. We're going to eat and enjoy what has happened, to celebrate what's been achieved in the last season, because it's not just about the final destination, you guys. It is about how we look at each day. We all know we're not guaranteed one more day. So how we live this day and the ability to become agile in the day, that is success in God's eyes. It's being able to not be so latched on to control or fear. It's being able to let go of the control and the fear that was connected to a specific outcome, and understanding that faith is always in the unseen. Faith is always in that relationship and knowing that you're going to be okay, that it's all going to be okay, that there are sovereign powers at play even beyond your own sovereignty. Okay, destiny is at play. You're in a bigger story. I'm in a bigger story than just about ourselves. And we're surrendering to that. And we're going, okay, I'm ready to have some fun now. This needs to lighten up. This needs to get fun. There needs to be things in my week that I look forward to. The moment that we're in is bigger than us. It feels slightly more ambiguous, but not in a negative sense. It's in a soul identity purpose mission sense. This hope is less about external factors and more about our own mechanics being recalibrated and realigned in a very healthy way. So in closing, I would say that if something feels lighter and you notice it, don't resist it. Don't distrust it. Okay? If you can feel that wind at your back, don't overthink it. Just move with it. Have a little giggle. If what used to feel like a threat now feels like an opportunity to move forward or whatever, pay attention to that. Agility isn't just speed. It's not frantic hustle. It's not movement without panic. It's clarity without force. It's the nervous system no longer bracing for impact from 2025, okay? Because it's learning how to trust. And there's a grace on this right now. If you can feel it in your body, if you can feel that shift, then you are right on time. And you're sitting on a gold mine, because once agility is present in your movement, building becomes inevitable. All right, with your endurance, you are now unstoppable. Truly. Okay? All right, if this resonated with you, share it with someone. You guys remember to like and subscribe. If you've been through that endurance phase, leave me a comment. I am here to remind you who you are, and that is my commitment to this channel and to you, to never let you stop. All right? All right, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Love ya.